folks, I'm going to tell you 5 quick facts about black bull markets. Now, did you know, number 1, they're New Zealand FMA regulated? Number 2, did you know they have a copy trading service where you can either be a signal provider or copy signals? And number 3, did you know they've got over 26,000 tradable assets, including Forex, crypto, stocks, indices, and even more? And number 4, did you know they offer 500 to 1 leverage? And number 5, if you open up an account today and trade 1 lot a month, they're going to give you TradingView Pro for free. Check them out, Black Bull Markets.
Rightio, folks, here we are on a Trading Nut live stream. This is kind of rare for me, but welcome to the show, Ethan.
Hey, Gav, what's up?
Yeah, mate. Look, it's a good time of day for me. In fact, I should at least get the lighting on properly. It's a good time of day for me. So I'm welcoming you to the stream here. And what are you going to do for the guys? Like, so if you guys don't know, Ethan, he was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and you're a 600K funded trader. What are you going to do? Just like trade the live session today, or get people to give you like pairs to analyze?
Right.
What is it?
Yeah, so I'm going to mostly have a look at the pairs that I trade. Who knows? Maybe some trades set up this morning. We'll see. Yeah, it just all depends on how the market plays out, and then we'll have a look and see. I mean, people can give me pairs to analyze, but I mean, I really do focus on mainly indices and Euro USD, sometimes GBP USD. But people are welcome to give me pairs to have a look at. Yeah, and then I'll take it from there. There's a lot of stuff that we can discuss as well. I mean, there's different psychological things and elements of the strategy that I trade as well that I think people might be interested in, and then yeah, we can take it from there.
Okay, mate. Well, look, I don't think we've done one at this time of day before, so I'm not too sure if how people sort of trade the post London Open. So let's have a look and see. But yeah, look, I'll leave it to you. Share your screen and away you go, and have a good time.
Cool. Thanks, Cam.
See ya.
Cheers. What's up, man? What's up, Zon? How are you, brother? Right, so yeah, this is the stream. Just gonna wait for a couple more people to enter the stream, and then we'll get going. Maybe put some music on. Let me know if everybody can hear everything. What's up, Tyron? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over Euro USD because that's the pair that I trade, and then we can have a look at other stuff that you guys want me to have a look at. Where is Waikato? Is it Zon? Where is that, bro? Right, so Euro USD, let's have a look. Just gonna see a few more people join. The music is giving me guided meditation. Wait, let's play something else. I can't actually hear the music, so that might have something. Wait, I'll play this one. Right. So let's have a look. We're on the 4-hour time frame on Euro USD. Obviously, I start all of my analysis on the higher time frames. So for me, it's pretty important. Just 1 second, guys. Right. So the 4-hour time frame, okay. 4-hour time frame is pretty key in my opinion. It's actually very key, because that's where you're going to be able to time your lower time frame entries. So higher time frame is really, really important. A lot of the strategies that I show you guys on my YouTube channel are generally more lower time frame entries, etc., but the real art comes in timing your entries with higher time frame points of interest, as well as higher time frame structure, because you could be in the middle of no man's land, and if you're trying to enter on, for example, structure that is really, in a place where it's going to retrace, for example, or you're trying to get short in an area where price is in a discounted zone, and more than likely price on the long term higher time frame is now going to start shifting bullish, well, you're going to get screwed more than not. So you have to time your entries with the lower time frame, the higher time frame narrative. It's very, very important. So for me, when I'm looking at the higher time frame, right, I'm looking for structure, obviously. And I mean, this is stuff we all know. Price will make higher highs and higher lows, okay? Obviously, right? So I only class a higher high when structure is broken with a full candle body close, okay? So for example, once we break structure to the upside, okay, like so, okay, this must be a full candle body close, okay, for me to now consider, okay, this as a swing low. This is only confirmed once we get a full candle body closure to the upside, right? So there must be a full candle body closing above the high, okay? Now, how do we classify this as a swing, okay? How do we know that this is a pullback, okay? So that, again, you can decide to either use your discretion, okay? Or you can have like a fixed pip value. So, for example, like 100 pips, okay? If it price retraces 100 pips, then we can start to classify this as the swing high, okay? Then we can use that as the swing high, and then once that is broken with a candle body close above, then we can start to classify that as a swing low. Now, obviously, then we have a swing range, which we're trading in between, would be this, okay? And then we're waiting for price to retrace into an area of discount, okay? We're waiting for price to retrace into an area of discount, right? And then take the trade long, okay? And so that is what essentially I do, okay? So, sorry, I'm actually supposed to do this. So we're waiting for price to come here into the 50% before we start to look for longs, okay? Because this is now our range that we're trading in between. So essentially that's how I mark out higher time frame structure. And then once price gets into this discounted zone here, okay, because obviously we're looking at this range. Yeah. Once price gets into this range here, we can then start to time these lower time frame entries with higher time frame points of interest. So for example, say there's a order block here, okay? That is extra confirmation. Additionally, if price breaks structure, okay, when price breaks structure to the upside or downside, whatever, we're expecting price to retrace, okay? Once price breaks structure, we are expecting a retrace. Now, to confirm that, we can look to the left. For example, there could be price doing something like this, okay? And let's say we've got an order block here, okay? Price hits the order block and starts to retrace. And then we look for maybe, for example, a change of character on the 4 hour, and then we can start to look for shorts, okay? So that's essentially what I do, really, in a nutshell. On the higher time frames, that is. Obviously, my lower time frame entries are based around ICT and the Asian session range. So for example, today, let's just have a look and see what entries were provided for today. I did not actually end up trading this morning's session. So you can see price swept the highs here this morning, and there was a reaction. And we did have a change of character. So this was actually a pretty nice trade. However, we did not have a fair value gap, right? So you can see here, price swept, came down, took this fractal low. Okay, you can see this is a fractal low. Why? Because it did not break the previous candle's high. Okay, so it's the last candle that did not break the previous candle's high. So this is now our fractal low. Price came down. There wasn't a very aggressive move, okay, and there was no gap left. So for me, that's a no trade. Okay, why? Because let's take it back. Okay, so here we had price sweeping the Asian range. Okay, this box here is the Asian range. We then had the change of character, but now people immediately start to look for shorts here. But obviously that's not correct, because look at how it breaks. It breaks with a wick. Okay, so, and we want a displacement. We want this. Okay, obviously the candle won't be green. Okay, and then we want a gap to enter off of. Right? There was none of that provided. Okay, there must be a convincing displacement, which there wasn't. And it's very corrective price. Okay, it's very efficient price. So that means it's filling all of the fair value gaps along the way, right? So here again, fills the gap. Okay, so here is the first gap, but are we really convinced at this point? Look at how this is chopping around here. It's a mess. We want a clear sign that price is going to reverse. Okay, so yeah, we definitely did not get that this morning. And again, like, you can trade these strategies with a full amount of discretion. However, okay, I mean, you can trade it just as if you're a robot. But if you are really wanting to have a high win rate, you need to collect data. And like I said, I see this and I'm like, but I'm not going to enter on that. Why would I enter on something that shows no momentum shift? It has no displacement, no fair value gap. Obviously, so the no fair value gap is obviously a dead giveaway. But that included with the fact that there was no displacement, even if there was a fair value gap, and I just see these wicks, I'm saying, nope, not a chance. Not a chance at all. So we can see price then took the highs again, continues up. Again, we would be looking for a shift of character. Now this took the highs here, and we've got a pretty convincing shift. See how this compared to this, okay? That is a big freaking difference, right? So price took the highs, retraced, but this is a mess, okay? It's an absolute mess, right? Now price took the highs here, okay? Price took the highs here, okay? We got a retrace, but no change of character. Price took the highs, okay? Retraced, okay? No fair value gap, no change of character. Price just swept these highs here, and now momentum really jumped it, and we've got a fair value gap, okay? And so this is the trade I would be looking to take. However, we need to make sure that it works with the higher time frame narrative. And now if we look on the higher time frame, guess what, guys? Okay, on the 4-hour chart, we have had a break of structure. Okay, we've had a break of structure on the 4-hour time frame. As you can see, okay, price has shifted bullish a little while ago. We had price break above this high with a candle body close, retrace, break with a lot of momentum, bearing in mind. However, what did I say earlier? When price breaks structure, it has to retrace. Now let's look to the left, okay? Let's look to the left. Look where price is right now. Look where price is right now, okay? Price has come into this order block, which we can obviously refine in many ways, but this essentially on the higher time frames is one big range, okay, that price has tapped into, okay? But we have to bear in mind that it's come into this zone here essentially, okay? Now, obviously, you could say this is the whole range. Why? Because on the higher time frame, for example, the daily, you'll see that this is the order block. You see what I mean? So we can refine it onto the lower time frames as well. But for me, that's enough of a confirmation that price has come into this area of accumulation. Okay, for example, right here, which I will cover this. Again, you can refine this again to this. But if I see this close enough, it means that it started to fill in orders in this accumulation. Okay, it's not an exact science when it comes to order blocks. Okay, you just have to use your experience. So you could use this whole thing, you could refine it to this candle here. Okay, again, that's also, but essentially we are here in price. Okay, we are here. Price has just broken structure, and we are now retracing. Okay, we're not in a discounted zone. Okay, we are not in a discounted zone. Right? So price is now busy retracing into a hopefully discounted zone. Okay, and that's what we're looking to play. We're looking to play price into this discounted zone. Okay, and then obviously we can start to then maybe tomorrow or the day after look for longs to continue this trend, which is looking to be quite bullish. I hope you guys understand. Just let me know in the comments if you guys are getting this. I hope you guys are taking value from this. But this morning, there's definitely a setup that's set up this morning. Let's continue and go down to the 1 minute time frame now that I've shown you the high time frame bias. So like I said earlier, this was the move we were looking for. Price grabbed the highs. There was a injection of cash at this point versus this. Grabbed the Asia session highs, and this happened. Okay, this compared to this. Let's look at this here compared to this. This is a mess, right? This is a mess. This just sweeps the highs, straight away injects cash. Can you see the difference? But also it takes collecting data for a long time as well, potentially to see this. But I hope you guys can see it as well, right? MG, I can take a look at gold as well. I don't really trade gold with the strategy, so in terms of entries potentially, but I can have a look at the high time frame. as well. For those of you who are wondering, this Asian session range, obviously I use the Asian session range by Rob Minty, obviously in indicators, very good for Asian session range. This one here, okay? And these are the settings that I use. Brother, go have a look at my YouTube channel. The links should be in the description. If you go onto the page, I've got a lot of videos going over this kind of content. So if you look for Garland Trader on YouTube, you will find me, right? So like back here, Garland Trader on YouTube. That's my plug for today. Right, so as we can see, price swept these highs. It had a little pullback. So let's have a look at the structure firstly. Okay, so firstly, we've had price come up and come close to where we are now. Okay, so let's have a look on the 4 hour. Okay, so we're waiting for price to tap into this 4 hour order block. Okay, that's when things start to get really juicy and we can start to look for long-term trades. But currently, obviously, I'm cheating a little bit here because we can see, where is it? Where's the order block? The order block is up here. So ideally, we want price to come into this before we start to look for shorts. However, like I said, we've already broken structure, so our bias is short. Okay, so we've got this, but I'm not going to be looking to take it very long. And that's also why looking at higher time frame structure is very important, because I can now say, hey, this up here is where we want price to get to, and we want a change of character before we start to look to take price into a discounted zone, which would be all the way down. Let's have a look. On the 4 hour, we would be looking for price to come into this discounted zone. So that would be, obviously, let's see, am I taking this as a pullback? Not just yet. So we would be looking for price to come into an area down here. Okay. Because that is the discounted zone. Again, this would be discount. Okay. So once price gets down here, then potentially we can look for the move to stop, okay, or to slow down. So again, we're not looking to take it for a very extended period of time, and not looking to hold on to this trade for a long time, because we haven't reached this higher time frame point of interest just yet. Okay, but we know it's there. Okay, we know it's up here. Then we can start to look for signs of real hold this trade for long till we get to our discounted zone. Okay, but also remembering that we are not pro the higher time frame swing structure in general, because we have now, okay, we are bullish on our swing structure. We are trading counter trend on the higher time frame. So that's also something that you have to remember. Right, so again, we printed this fair value gap. We've got a nice displacement. Okay, this here is our change of character, by the way. It's our fractal change of character. Okay, why? Again, I go over fractal structure in the videos that I have on my channel at Garland Trader, right? Garland Trader. So on my channel on YouTube, I go over this in a lot of different videos on fractal structure. So you can see here, this high, did it break the previous candle's high? No, because if you look on the left here, up here, you can see this candle is 09305 and this candle is 09306. So this did not break this candle's high. And so that means that this was the last candle that did not break the previous candle's high. And so this means that this is a fractal low. Once price sweeps that, it confirms the fractal low, and then we look for price to break that low, and then we have our change of character. Okay, I hope you guys can see this is the break to the upside, and this is the break to the downside, and it's a very impulsive candle. Okay, versus this, where the same thing happened, we had a very choppy candle with very long wick, barely no momentum, and no fair value gap. Okay, so the rules do not line up. Okay, so here we've got the opposite. I don't know if this trade works out. Like I said, yeah, fair value gap is the same as an imbalance. Indeed, MG, it's exactly the same. So we can now put our stops just above. We can leave it at 3. I would also maybe put half a pip on just for some room. And like I said, we're not holding on to this trade long term. Why? Because again, we have not come into this area here just yet. Okay. So what I would do is take some off or go break even once we start to get into this area. And then I would ideally like a 1 to 3, to be honest, on this trade. But a 1 to 2 would also be nice, to be honest. Again, this is all in hindsight. I have not seen this yet, though. I did not trade today. So this is the setup that played out today. See if, yeah, so we get tagged in. So yeah, we came into a little bit of a close shave here. Now let's see, I would like to go break even once this gets broken, or until we come into this order block here would actually be ideal, because we could have a little bit of a retracement. And like I said, on the we are not yet bearish on higher time frame swing structure. Okay. Okay, cool. So we tagged in, got a little bit of a retracement. I would now be break even because we've just broken the lows. Okay, and there you go. That's the 1 to 3 that played out this morning. Okay, again, we use the higher time frame. Okay, and people would hop into this trade right here. People would hop into this trade right here all day long, but they're not looking at higher time frame structure. They're not looking at, hey, we still need to come up here firstly, right? They just see this change of character and they would hop straight in. But also you couldn't really hop in anyways because there is no fair value gap, right? But say there was a fair value gap, people hop into these, but they're not looking at this. Look at this. That's not something you can trade. You can't trade with no momentum. That doesn't convince me. It's not very convincing that price has shifted momentum, right? So let's go over what happened today once again. So price took the Asia highs. Okay, price took the Asia highs. This was the fractal low. Why? Because it did not break this previous candle's high. Okay, so this was the last candle that did not break the previous candle's high, the most recent candle that did not break the previous candle's high. And so once this high is taken, the low is confirmed. We then wait for price to break through the low, which confirmed our change of character. This happened. However, this happens. Okay, that is not giving me confidence. I don't know about you. So there is no fair value gap. There is no real injection of cash once we sweep the highs. And so for me, no touchy. Okay, then price continues, takes the highs once again. We're then looking for our change of character once again. Okay, now this here is the last candle that did not take the previous candle's high, right? So, and how can I tell? If you hover your mouse over the candle, you can see here in the top left corner, this is 1.09305 and this is 1.09306, and so this one is an inside bar, well, not inside bar, but it does not break this candle's high, right? And so once the highs are taken, we can then confirm this as the low, and we're looking for the violation of the low. And this happens right here with a massive candle, and it continues down for quite a bit more. It leaves this big gap in price, so we can trade that gap in price, okay? And so this here compared to this here, can you guys see the difference in what I'm saying? What time zone do you mean, Mohammed? So I use, this is personally my time zone. You can use any time zone you want. However, obviously using New York time zone can be best if you're trading New York. I trade, this is the London Asia sweep, you know, so the Asia kill zone. So this would have been the trade this morning. Okay, happened at 9 o'clock my time. And so it was really, really clean, to be honest. You would have gone break even at the lows being taken. However, like I said, on the 4 hour, once again, we are not in a place to take these trades very far. You can, like I say, you can do ICT and get like 1 to 20s. It's not just smart money concepts that happens like that. You can take these trades all the way down, right, to the discounted zones. However, okay, where is the discounted zone? I'm struggling to see it here. Anyway, you can take it all the way down into a discounted zone. Let's just check here. Whoops. The discounted zone would be here, right? So it would be down here, 1 to 12. However, why am I not doing that right now? This is the point of interest we want price to pop into before we start to look for those trades. So let's see if we get another setup where price pops into this point of interest. Again, I would be looking for price to take the highs, which are here, quite aggressively, I'd imagine. And then we would start to look for a entry on that, right? So again, that's why my trade was only targeting a 1 to 3 on this particular trade, because we are bearish because we have broken structure on the higher time frames, and when we break structure, we need to retrace. Okay, the break of structure happens and we retrace to facilitate moving price into the discounted zone, which is here. However, we have not yet jumped into a higher time frame point of interest, right? So we've taken this trade, and now ideally we would want price to hop into this zone before we start to look for the real big move. Okay, so let's see what happened today. Again, I did not trade this morning, so I don't know what happened. Obviously I did briefly see this chart, but I have not looked at the 1 minute time frame. So again, we took the highs here, but we're in the middle of no man's land right now. The reason I would take this trade is because we took the Asia session highs, which is very key. Okay, so we took the Asia session highs, and so that to me is quite key. However, to facilitate another trade, I would want it to tap into the 4 hour point of interest as well. Like I said, pairing that up with the 4 hour structure, which again, like I said, we've broken structure to the upside on the 4 hour so that we can facilitate a pullback into discounted prices. Okay, so let's see what happens. Again, like I said, if we're playing devil's advocates, we can see that price swept the highs. Okay, and we immediately had a pullback, which is normal. Price swept, pullback. This is a change of character technically. Again, we broke with a wick. And so when we have this kind of wick, weird, choppy price action, that's not convincing me of anything, is it? So again, that would obviously not be anything I would be even remotely interested in. Once again, we swept those again. Okay, we continued higher. And so this would be my change of character point right here, where price eventually does change character here. However, I mean, obviously this is quite a big swing area. So this is obviously a bit of a mess. We would not want to trade that. Okay. So obviously price took out this, but look at how big our stop loss would need to be. That's just not really viable. And I'm not going to put my stop loss. So for example, our gap would be here. This is our most extreme gap. And my stop loss would have to be up here, but it's in the middle. I would want my stop loss to cover the highs. And so that's not really a viable trade for me. Let's just see what did happen. Well, that's where price is right now. Okay. So you can see price has reacted to this area that I just marked out, where price is right now. Price did actually jump off of the zone, so why is it not showing that? It's a bit strange. Let's just double check. Strange that that is appearing so far above. Oh, I see. It tapped in here. So yesterday we tapped into that 4-hour order block. Currently we're still reacting off of it. And so not particularly interested. I would need price to come and tap back into it. Preferably I would like price. If it decides to do so. Okay, it looks like my trading view is freaking out. Okay, there you go. Right. So yeah, price tapped into this yesterday. And so right now, this is where we are. Very choppy, okay. I would actually prefer price to come into this zone up here. Right. Order block is similar to supply and demand. It is. It's basically the same thing. So yeah, this would be the candle, okay, just before the aggressive move to the downside. And so that would be where my order block is. Mohammed, I use the Asia session just because that's just better for me. You can also use obviously use that during New York Open as well, New York Kill Zone. But I like trading London. Okay, so let's have a look at yesterday. So obviously bearing in mind that we have these higher time frame points of interest. Okay, so we are bearish because price has tapped into this zone. Okay. So we would be looking for bearish trades only. Okay, so this is now violated to the downside. I would not be looking to go long because look where we are in price on the 4-hour. Like I said, we have now, well, actually I would, because we've broken structure to the upside. We're in a premium zone, and we've just bounced off of a 4-hour point of interest. So going short is not a bad idea. Okay. We would be looking only to go short, not long. So obviously we've violated to the downside on the Asia lows. Okay. So Asia lows have been taken. We did not get a change of character. Obviously, we're now violating these lows. But I would not be looking to go long. Still, okay, because we're in a premium zone. Okay, we're not in discount. So ideally, I would want price to come up, sweep this here, and then go lower. Okay. A lot of people get caught up in this down here, and they're waiting for this to break, but obviously it's not very high probability. So it breaks right now. Most people would be looking to get long here in this gap. Okay, if you're not looking at the higher time frame. And most likely going to get chopped up. So again, maybe it works out, I don't know. Because I didn't trade yesterday just due to bank holiday, right? So essentially this would be the trade. But again, you're looking for a very high risk reward, a very low risk reward. So most likely this doesn't work out. It doesn't, because like I said, we're only looking for shorts. And so it's an example of when you're trading against the higher time frame narrative, you're going to get chopped up. Okay. So again, we would be wanting the Asia highs to get taken. Obviously now it's in a dead zone, so that's pretty much London session done, right? Which is also why I'm not looking to currently really trade right now. When, you know, London session is, for me, my kill zone is really in the, you know, before 11. So as we can see, price continues down because we're in a bearish trend. And so, like I said, I would be looking for price to have swept this before going lower. So let's have a look at the previous day, which looks like it did what we wanted it to do. So again, we've got this higher time frame 4-hour order block that's fresh. We would be wanting price to come up into this, sweep these Asia highs, sweep these highs here, come into the higher time frame, change character, okay, get in on the change of character and take it down. Okay, now this particular trade you can hold the whole week because we've popped into this, and we can hold it all the way until we get into this discounted price zone, right? Obviously you can take partials along the way, but this is trading fully in line with the higher time frame narrative. So let's see if we get an entry. Obviously this happened on Friday. Okay, so we're pushing it up. We've just taken the Asia highs. Okay, obviously our chalk zone would be right here. Okay, so let's have a look at what happened. Price came very close. So for me, when price comes this close and reacts like this, okay, then I'm thinking, hey, it has filled some orders up in here. So we'll go back onto the 4-hour and have a look. So you can see the range is actually this whole area. Be mindful of that, okay? There are orders in this whole range because this whole thing is a pullback, right? So this was actually the move before the injection of liquidity upward before the move down. So technically that whole thing is an order block. So when I see a reaction like that, that's almost like a metal detector telling me that, hey, that is where the orders are, right? So I would be looking particularly at that. So we have the injection, we have this would be our change of character right here. Why? Because this is the last candle that did not break the previous candle's high. And so then we would be looking for our fair value gap. Now, we've got a fair value gap right here. We've got one up here as well. And obviously one here. There's quite a lot of imbalance. So we have to decide, are we going to be using, for example, like an OTE entry, because this is quite a big move. Okay, we could use like an OTE entry, which again lines up nicely with this fair value gap here. So ideally we would want price to move and come back to this zone, but will it? That's the thing. So we would essentially be setting our order right here. Okay, whether we get tagged in on that or not is another story, which it looks like we might not. So right now, it looks like it's reacting to this here, but again, we only enter on the extremities. So for me, it's kind of like a no-go. Are we gonna get tagged in here? I have a feeling we won't. So you can see it's reacting off of this fair value gap. MG, the thing is, I'm lining the 1 minute up with the higher time frame. So the H4 is giving me my bias as well as my higher time frame point of interest, as well as where I'm going to target. So the 1 minute is just a fractal indication of that. Okay, wait. Okay, I did not see this. Okay, so we get very, very close here. Let's see. Ooh, we get tagged in. Okay, so this is interesting. Let's see if this plays out. Again, I have not played through this data just yet. And like I said, this is all of my criteria, okay? This is all of my criteria that's being met here, right? So, again, I would be literally targeting these discounted zones, okay? So that's a nice indication of price wanting to play with us, but we do get taken out. And so again, once we get taken out, okay, not a big deal. We've just swept the highs. We're now looking for our next change of character, which is now starting to look to confluence with the higher time frame, and it's also almost New York. So we've had our fair value gap, okay, which is right here. And as you can see, straight after the fair value gap happened and the change of character, we would then already be tagged in right here. Okay. So once again, we would just target literally all the way down to premium. Forex funded. Yes, it is after that time. I'm again just looking at the previous day's price action. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. So once again, we get taken out. Obviously, you're not going to be getting the best entries at this time of day, like you said. And that's also what's going to happen when you're aiming for high risk reward. Also, when you're trying to catch, the big moves, that's just what's going to happen. Right, so we're quite corrective here. Is there a gap here? Nope, no gap there. Tiny gap here. So technically, yes. And we did, there is momentum. So yeah, we could technically enter through here. Again, this is us trying to catch the top of the move, to catch all the way down into that premium zone. And yes, you will take losses trying to get it. As you can see here, we got a 1 to 2. Yeah, roughly 1 to 2. So you could have gone break even, but personally, I would have probably just taken the loss. Okay, so we're in the trade. And there you go. So now we're going. And again, we're looking to literally take this into our discounted zone. Just down here. So 1 to 14. And now we're moving nicely. Again, you could take some partials once we clear these. So we come back in. And there you go. So now we can take partials and go break even because we've just taken out these lows, which is 1 to 5. And then obviously we're going to be holding all the way. Let's just have a look. We're going to be holding into the discounted zone, which is down here. Right. So we would have taken some partials here at the low, probably would have given us a little bit of profit and covered these losses, okay? And then we would have just held the rest. So if you're doing like a challenge or something like that, this would have covered these losses, and then we would be holding for this to come all the way down into our discounted zone, right? And then that would have given us, you know, a nice, maybe we pass the challenge, etc., or we come close, you know, maybe bag like 5%. We're continuing lower. We're not quite into that discounted zone just yet. Obviously, we would be holding this probably for quite a couple of days, to be honest. And obviously, we would be at break even right now. Let's go into the 1 hour time frame. And now we're come down all the way to like a 1 to 10 almost. So it does help. And I mean, you will take losses if you are trying to get these bigger moves, but you just have to trust your analysis, really. And also, but that's a lot easier to do when you have higher time frame, and when you have higher time frame narrative, as well as having the data to back it up. Amazing Forex Funded, yeah. The strategy works really, really well. You just need to make sure, like I said, if you want to catch these big moves, you need to be working with the higher time frame and trade in line with that higher time frame. Otherwise, you're going to get caught out, to be honest. You can catch small moves, but you will have some, losing streaks. Overall, though, you could literally code the strategy and it would be profitable over the course of a year. However, right, you would need the higher time frame if you're looking for a higher win rate, right? That's just how it is. So this is where price is right now. At the peak, we were at a 1 to 10, basically, and we're looking for price to come into a discounted zone. Price, you can see on the higher time frame. So this is the 1 hour. We're reacting off this 1 hour imbalance, okay? But ideally, I would be looking for price to come into this order block down here, okay, before price decides to come up higher, right? So that's essentially what you could target, but I would be safe and take the position off once we get past this here, right? Also bearing in mind that we have this imbalance or fair value gap right here. You're welcome to trade however you want to trade. This is just how I trade. So yeah, guys. Again, I have lots of videos on this on my YouTube channel, which is Garland Trader on YouTube. Obviously, you can follow me on Instagram as well. Also, garland.trader. Please be very careful. There are a lot of people impersonating me, and I will never ask you for money, and I will never, ever, ever ask you to invest in me, right? So be very, very careful. So yeah, that was basically from Friday. You could have literally been holding this. However, more than likely what you would have done is probably taken it off at 6 because obviously the day ended. So you would have been able to pull like an 8R. Obviously, if you held this whole trade and you're on a private account, remembering if you're on a challenge account, you only really want to be in and out in a day because of obviously some of the challenges have the equity rule where obviously they work out your max daily based on your starting day equity. And so obviously that can be a problem. Just one moment. I'm just going to get a jacket because it is very cold where I'm from. So yeah, guys, like I say, in terms of where I'm from, if you want to follow me and subscribe to my channel, it is Garland Trader on YouTube. We're about to reach 20,000 subscribers, which is insane. Yeah, and I'm really appreciative to Cam from Trading Nut for having me on his channel. If you guys enjoyed it, please do comment below and let me know, you know, if you guys enjoyed it. Maybe I'll come on to Trading Nut more often. I'm sure in future we'll probably have another chat, myself and Cam. But yeah, I did have an interview with Cam recently where I gave this full strategy. Essentially, it's the lower time frame entries though. This is really the source that I just shared with you guys, which is the higher time frame narrative and lining that up with the lower time frame entries. So really that is key. Key is lining up higher time frame with lower time frame. Why? Because the lower time frame is essentially trading blind. You're not knowing what's happening on the higher time frame, and because of that, right? Because of that, you're not going to know how long to hold your trades. You're not going to know if you're going to hold this trade all the way into premium or discount. You're not going to know if you are pro the trend when you're entering a trade, and essentially that just means you're blind. You don't know when to hold the trade for. You don't know what the higher time frame bias is, so you don't know if you're taking a higher probability trade and trading against the high time frame swing structure, right? If you're trading in line with that, you're going to have a much higher win rate. You're going to have a much higher success rate in general, and you can also have a much higher risk reward because you can hold the trades for longer, right? It's as easy as that. Right, so essentially, guys, that's it from me. Like I say, if you like this, let me know in the comments below. Please do go follow my YouTube channel. It is Garland Trader, Garland like this, Trader. And yeah, we're nearing on 20,000 subs on there, which is amazing. And yeah, like I said, we had a chat with Cam recently on his channel. It's been really, really good the last few months. I've literally only become public as a trader in the last few months, and I've had so much support, and my channel's just absolutely exploded. So yeah, like I said, my YouTube channel is Garland Trader, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, it is garland.trader. So yeah, thank you so much to everybody who joined the stream. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll do more streams like this on Trading Nut. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching. I'll catch you potentially in the next Trading Nut stream. Otherwise, you can join me over on my channel where I do streams every week as well. Cheers, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day.